Welcome to Patch Notes, everyone. I'm your host, Wingodang. We got a bunch to cover this week between the whole Epic versus Apple situation escalating to like a crazy new level and some very interesting information regarding the Series X and the Series S. We also got a lot of crazy retail listings for some rumored games, so let's just get right into this episode of Patch Notes. We got Rocksteady up first, and following their new project announced last week, they now have provided a title for their Suicide Squad game. It's been dubbed Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on their Twitter title, with more information to come on August 22nd. Pretty intense title if you ask me. Warner Bros. Montreal will also be joining Rocksteady at DC Fandom on August 22nd, possibly talking about a new Batman game. They have been teasing the project for a while now, and it seems this game may be for NextGen only. The DC Fandom schedule lists the studio as revealing a new game with a Q&A with developers afterwards at 1:30 p.m. The Epic vs. Apple feud has been building a lot this week. Other companies have started taking sides in the case. Microsoft said they supported Epic's stance and moves, stating, "Unfortunately, we do not have a path to bring our vision of cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to gamers on iOS via the Apple App Store. Apple stands alone as the only general-purpose platform to deny consumers from cloud gaming and game subscription services like Xbox Game Pass." Non-gaming companies like Spotify and Match supported Epic's actions as well, showing how this case affects more than just mobile gaming. Later on the week, though, Apple threatened to terminate the Epic's Games developer accounts on August 28th. This termination is not just for Fortnite, it's for anything related to Epic on the Apple platform. Apple in their message said, "Upon further review of the activity associated with your Apple Developer Program membership, we have identified several violations of the Apple Developer Program License Agreement. Therefore, your Apple Developer Program account will be terminated if the violations set forth below are not cured within 14 days. This means Epic would lose access to its developer tools for all of Apple's software and services. So not only does this affect their games, but also the Unreal Engine, which is not just used by Epic, it's used by a lot of third-party software developers as well." Epic did respond and put a request in with the United States courts to halt this termination, basically stating that this move by Apple violates the Sherman Act and Epic could suffer irreparable harm. So unless the courts make a move, this termination will happen on the 28th. Amazon UK may have leaked a couple of unannounced games this week. New listings for 2 games have been found on the site. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered was listed for €35 with a November 13th release date. The listing included both the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One as available platforms with pre-orders live. A Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Switch port was also found on the online retailer, listed at €70 with no release date but pre-orders available. Later on the week though, the listing was pulled, leaving the fate of the port up in the air right now. THQ has acquired 8 new studios in their quest to rule game development. They've been picking up a lot of development studios as of lately, both last year and this year. This new round of acquisitions includes Sola Media, Powwow Entertainment, Palindrome Interactive, Rare Earth Games, Vermilia Studios, Deca Games, New World Interactive, and 4A Games. You may or may not recognize some of these, but 4A Games is notable as they produce the Metro games like 2033, Last Light, and Exodus. THQ is slowly but surely building their development army, and it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table with it. EA Access and Origin Access are merging to provide one similar service. The change took place on August 18th, and they said it's an important step in streamlining our services to ensure that being an EA Play member is the best way to play. Current members won't lose any features and will actually be getting additional in-game challenges and monthly reward drops. Origin Access Premier will be getting changed to EA Play Pro as well with the same feature boost. FIFA fans are going to be disappointed and happy at the same time with this news. FIFA Direct Communication confirmed on their Twitter this week that FIFA 21 will not have any cross-play between all current and next-gen consoles. Anyone who upgrades from a PS4 or an Xbox One to a PS5 or Series X will get to take their progress with them. The game itself will also be eligible for an upgrade for users who buy into next-gen. In some not-so-good EA news, the company is facing yet another lawsuit over the age-old problem of our loot boxes gambling. The class action lawsuit was started in California with over 100 people involved, and this case specifically deals with the Ultimate Team Packs in FIFA and Madden. The plaintiff states that EA's Ultimate Team Packs are loot boxes. Buying the packs are nothing more than a gambling bet. I assume this won't be the first or last lawsuit EA or other companies have over loot boxes. Ghost of Tsushima will be getting a new cooperative multiplayer mode this fall. It focuses on characters built in the in-game lore. Players will take control of the samurai, hunter, ronin, or assassin in either 2-player co-op missions or 4-player co-op survival. Both modes will have new magical twist based on Japanese folklore, and it will be a free DLC for all Ghost of Tsushima owners. According to Gamatsu, Demon's Souls was rated in Korea on August 13th. The only other PS5 title that has been rated in Korea is Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is coming to the PS5 this holiday season. Sony apparently has a good habit of submitting games to rating boards in Korea, pretty close to their launch date as you can see here, so this means Demon's Souls might be coming a little sooner than we thought. Sony also talked about the new haptic feedback for their DualSense 5 controllers on their blog this week. They included how the controller will affect player experience in certain games. For example, the creative director for Spider-Man Miles Morales said, "We'll be hinting to players which direction attacks are coming from by providing haptic feedback from the appropriate direction." Another game example, Deathloop will lock players' triggers when your gun is jammed in the game. It's definitely an interesting concept and integration. I'm just waiting for the day where I have to pay EA to unlock my controller triggers. Speaking of Deathloop, it has been delayed to Q2 of 2021. The game was supposed to be a PS5 launch title, but has been pushed back due to the company's transition to working from home. They said in a statement, "The health and safety of everyone at Arcane Lion remains our top priority. As we've adjusted to work from home, we found that delivering this new and exciting experience at the polish and quality level that defines both an Arcane game and a true next-gen experience is taking longer than normal. COVID has really hit all of game development really hard, and I kind of suspect more games will begin delayed in the future." Nintendo had an Indie World presentation this week. The 20-minute presentation took place on Tuesday, mostly focused on indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'd say it was actually a decent event, showcasing a lot of interesting games coming to the platform. Some of my favorites were Hades, Takeshi and Hiroshi, Bears and Breakfast, and the Untitled Goose Game Co-op DLC. Thank you. The full presentation can be found over on Nintendo's YouTube. In line with the 35th anniversary of Mario, Nintendo has put out some interesting Mario-themed controllers. This first one's a normal Power A Switch controller with a golden M made out of iconic Mario imagery. The second one is a little more interesting. It's a Hori Pad Mini with a lack of the palm grips, but the same layout as the other Hori Switch controllers. It's definitely a smaller looking gamepad and kind of reminds me of the Wii Classic controller. If you are interested in either of these, they are available for pre-order on Amazon for $24.99 USD each. While very far from its launch, it seems a collector's edition for Breath of the Wild 2 has popped up online. This game will most likely be capping off The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary next year, but the French retailer WTNT listed this on their website. Normally I would brush this off as just pure speculation, but this is the same retailer that listed The Witcher 3 Switch Edition early, before any of us knew, so there might be some merit to this posting. Retro Studios has skipped the Indeed ads and posted this on their Twitter. They're looking for a lead producer to join them on the development of Metroid Prime 4. If you think you're someone with 10 years of production experience in game development and can solve challenging problems, this might be the position for you. Lastly, for Nintendo this week, they announced that the Switch will start official distribution in Brazil. Brazil has some crazy importing tariffs that make it super expensive to get games and systems, so most of the consoles are imported from other countries, including the United States. They ask that you stay tuned to their Facebook and Instagram for more information regarding this. Oculus had a major moment this week. They posted this to their Twitter, stating that starting in October 2020, everyone using an Oculus device for the first time will need to log in with a Facebook account. This is a major change that many people are not happy about, including myself. Oculus even promised that Facebook would never be a requirement to use their hardware or software, and yet here we are. In all reality though, I can't really say I'm surprised at this because, anything Facebook touches basically gets infected. If you are an Oculus user, support for your current Oculus account will end on January 1st, 2023. While you can still use your device without merging, they did say that the full functionality will require a Facebook account. A lot of next-gen news from Microsoft this week. It seems the Series X got a modeling job apparently, as these photos surfaced on Twitter this week. Mr. Kima got a couple of great shots of the console, showing its size and stature in a real-life setting. The console was shown off at the Experion E Arena in Germany. And, honestly, I can kind of appreciate this really clean look of the box, even if it does, resemble a mini fridge. A Series X controller also got dissected this week. This photo from Brad Sams was shared on Twitter, showing the controller's shell and insides. It seems to be very similar to an Xbox One controller, but I feel it's a good thing because I really like that look and feel of the current controller. One thing to note is that the controller does not have any smart rumble and will use the basic vibration motors, unlike Nintendo's current offerings and Sony's future offerings. On the software side of the Series X, Microsoft put out a video discussing their efforts in streamlining the Xbox ecosystem across all devices. Launching with Series X, players can expect the same look and feel of using the Xbox services across consoles and mobile phones. The new Xbox store from a couple weeks back was showcased here as well, and shows Microsoft's focus on their ecosystem as opposed to just the Series X. I did a little video last week explaining what I feel Microsoft's vision for the future of gaming is, and you can check that out by clicking on the card now. The video also showed off new features and designs for the Xbox dashboard and new social features. Also, why does Elijah Wood work at Xbox now? Those wary about Microsoft Flight Simulator on Steam have little reason to worry now. The game does require a large download and clocks playtime on your account during the download. Valve has confirmed the download time will not affect your refund eligibility. The game is around 127 gigabytes total, taking some people way longer than Steam's 2-hour refund eligibility window. After the best unofficial announcement of the Series S last week, this was posted on Twitter. Little comparison chart of the hardware in both the Series X and the Series S. This definitely shows some significant differences in their specs. While the Series X is shooting for a 4K 60 FPS gaming environment, the Series S will be targeting a 1440p 60 FPS level of performance. It should be noted that it will be a diskless system as well. It's definitely more of a performance gap than I was expecting, but it does make a lot of sense if they're trying to undercut Sony this upcoming generation in price. Players of Dirt 5 can drift their way to next-gen versions of the game for free. The Dirt Twitter posted this saying all Dirt 5 players on Xbox One and PS4 from October 16th will be entitled to a free upgrade to the next-gen optimized version on Series X and PS5, featuring 120 frames per second modes. Sega will be focusing on PC ports during the rest of the COVID pandemic. This is following some news from last week where Atlus said they were really impressed with the sales of Persona 4 and explained the process of bringing old games to other platforms. Sega said going forward, we intend to aggressively promote the porting of previously launched titles to Steam and other new platforms. All I can say about this is that it's Wingodang time, and for the love of God, please put Persona 5 on Switch. I'm sure you've heard of Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, along with its massive popularity and success. Jeff Tanton, the creative director at Mediatonic, did a fantastic write-up about the inception and development of the game. He talks about the initial pitch for the game, the inspiration, and how it was all put together. I know it's not major news, but it's a very interesting read that I recommend you check out over on his Twitter. Jeff Keighley seems to be very excited for the upcoming Gamescom. He had this to say about the event. What a crazy, fun Gamescom opening night live we have coming together for you next week. Feels so good to be back producing a big live show. Cool set under construction now, and lots to share in the coming days on 2 hours of games for you next Thursday. It's definitely really weird to be hearing about a larger event with COVID still around, but I'm always down for some new announcements. A Prince of Persia remake peeked its head out this week. Honestly, I don't think Ubisoft can keep anything under wraps at this point between Assassin's Creed and now this. These listings were found for the remake, and it shows a November 2020 shipping estimation for both PS4 and Switch. The listings were pulled down shortly after, but I've heard these games are worth the hype, so stay tuned. To wrap up this week, we got some more Call of Duty information. A teaser trailer for the game was found on YouTube. It's still unlisted though, so I'm not going to put any footage in here just for security, but it does have some very, very strong Cold War themes. The Treyarch Twitter did put this photo up teasing the game, again with these strong Cold War themes. The image did title the game, now officially called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Anyone looking for more info? That's coming August 26th, so keep your eye out here for any updates. Got a couple releases for this week. Microsoft Flight Simulator flies onto PC. Battletoads beats its way to Xbox One and PC. New Super Lucky's Tale jumps to PS4 and Xbox One. Samurai Jack of Battle Through Time slashes its way to PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Windows Store. And PGA Tour 2K21 swings for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Google Stadia. Leave your thoughts down below about this week's news. I'm definitely particularly interested to see how this whole Series S reveal will play out. After losing Halo, Microsoft's really gonna need like a major selling point to get their consoles moving, and the price might be their edge. Any games that got listed that you're excited to hear about? I've never actually played the Prince of Persia games, so that collection might actually get me to try them, if it does exist. If you liked the video, please make sure to hit the like button, it really helps out. But if you didn't, leave a dislike and tell me what you think I could be doing better. If you want to see more, make sure to get subscribed, hit the bell to get notified of new uploads. As always, I'm your host Wingodang, and I'll see you next Friday.